The first scream was mistaken for laughter. It was just past midnight at the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, a place that had long ago learned how to swallow strange sounds without asking questions. Room 1408 had checked in under the name Daniel Mercer. Cash payment. No luggage except a single black duffel bag. He smiled easily at the front desk clerk, a young woman named Tasha who was working her third overnight shift that week. She remembered his eyes, steady, unblinking, almost too calm. Business trip, he'd said. I won't be a problem. By morning, 3 guests were dead. Daniel Mercer wasn't his real name. His real name was Luis Calderon, 36, former night security at a mid-range hotel in Nevada. He knew every blind spot in a hallway camera. He knew how long it took for police to respond to a 911 call on a busy weekend. Most importantly, he understood something chillingly simple. Hotels are built on trust between strangers. He had studied that trust. For weeks, Calderon drifted between hotels across California, watching routines. He learned shift patterns, identified staff who propped doors open during smoke breaks, noted which managers disabled security alerts to avoid false alarms. At the Cecil, he noticed something else. Half the cameras on the 14th floor were out for maintenance. A handwritten note in the back office said repairs were scheduled next month. He booked 1408 because it sat directly between the 2 broken cameras. That wasn't luck. That was design. The first victim was 62-year-old Thomas Green, a retired accountant visiting from Arizona. He had won a small jackpot at a nearby casino and, against his daughter's advice, carried most of the cash on him. Calderon met Green in the hotel bar. He played the part well, friendly, harmless, interested in baseball. He let Green talk. People always talk. About money. About loneliness. About being far from home. Security footage later showed the 2 men entering the elevator together at 11:47 p.m. Green never came back down. Investigators believe Calderon followed him into his room under the pretense of continuing their conversation. Once inside, he used a stun gun legal in many states, easily purchased online. Green was disoriented, not dead. Calderon bound his wrists with zip ties and demanded the cash. But panic changes plans. Green resisted. The struggle was brief and violent. A blow to the head against the marble edge of the bathroom counter fractured his skull. By the time Calderon left the room, he carried $8,400 in cash and left behind a body staged to look like an accidental fall. He even placed a half-empty whiskey glass near Green's hand. Greed is louder than caution. Around 1:15 a.m., Calderon used a master key card he'd quietly lifted from an unattended housekeeping cart earlier that evening. The cart had been left near the ice machine. The housekeeper was inside another room, door closed, earbuds in. He entered room 1412. Inside were 2 traveling nurses from Northern California, best friends on a weekend getaway. They had ordered late-night room service. When Calderon knocked, holding the tray he had intercepted downstairs after claiming there was a mistake with the order, they opened the door without hesitation. Hotels condition you to open doors. The attack was swift. Pepper spray. Panic. A knife pulled from his duffel bag. One victim managed to claw at his face, leaving DNA under her fingernails. The other tried to dial 911 but dropped her phone under the bed. Calderon fled when he heard footsteps in the hallway. Both women were found barely alive at 6:40 a.m. when room service realized the original tray had never been returned. One survived. The other did not. Calderon believed he had erased himself. He wore gloves. Paid cash. Used a fake name. Left before sunrise. But he made 3 fatal mistakes. The stun gun he used on Green left distinct prong marks. Forensics linked them to a specific online retailer purchase made under his real email address weeks earlier. The surviving nurse described a small crescent-shaped scar near his left eyebrow. DNA beneath a victim's fingernails matched Calderon's profile from a prior arrest for aggravated assault, charges that had been dropped years earlier. Within 9 days, police arrested him at a motel outside Bakersfield. In the interrogation room, he was quiet, detached. When shown photos of the victims, he reportedly said, "It wasn't supposed to go like that. But it always does." The Cecil had seen tragedy before. But this was different. Lawsuits followed. Families demanded answers about broken cameras, unattended master keys, and minimal overnight staffing. The hotel settled civil claims quietly. The surviving nurse later testified in court, her voice steady but shaking at the edges. She described the moment she realized the man at the door wasn't staff. "It's the smile," she said. "I remember the smile. Like he knew something we didn't." Calderon was convicted of 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. He received multiple life sentences without parole. Hotels are places of temporary safety. You lock the door and believe that's enough. But crimes in hotels often exploit routine. Unverified knocks at the door. Staff carts left unattended. Master key cards poorly controlled. Security cameras unrepaired for weeks. Investigators later confirmed that none of the hotel's broken cameras had been prioritized because management considered the floor low risk. Low risk doesn't mean no risk. The screams that night were mistaken for laughter because people expect hotels to be full of joy, vacations, business wins, romance. No one checks in expecting to be part of a crime scene. And that's exactly what made it so easy. If you found this story shocking, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more true crime stories that uncover the dark secrets hiding in plain sight. What do you think? Could this tragedy have been prevented if the hotel's security cameras were working? Or was the system already too vulnerable? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read them all, and your perspective might be featured in the next video.